Hey friends, Mike and Jess here.
And welcome to Regeneration Nation TV. We are on episode 5 of Cunk on Earth. This is Wars of the World.
Wars of the World.
Wars of the World.
Another movie title reference. I see what they're doing here.
Is this the one with Tom Cruise or with Chris Pratt? I get confused on that.
Both now.
Both wars. It's both of them. All of them. All the above.
Both now, yep. Which one do you like better?
I like the Chris Pratt one, but I think that it's the Tom Cruise one. I'm confused now.
It is.
Okay, War of the World. Yeah.
Anyways, the Tomorrow War is the Chris Pratt
That's
one.
what it is. Okay.
Anyways.
Still a war.
We're here now. We're at the end, but we do still have one more episode after this. As far, maybe even more. I don't know. We'll get through it all. That's regardless. This is this now. We're here now.
We're here in
this
the now.
Is this, the finale of Cunk on Earth.
We've learned so much along the way.
So much. So enlightened. so smart.
Up the jam a bit.
What? Are you serious? Let's get into the damn video. We're already good. I have to deal with that one time. Links down below where you can get your hands on this great show. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Last time, in 29 informative yet accessible minutes, we saw how a string of breakthroughs led humankind to build the modern world and create a weapon powerful enough to turn it all to white-hot boiling shit. But that was only part of the story. The part after that starts now.
It's 1945. The atomic bomb's just gone off. The world lies in ruins. Cloning of Hitler has already begun. The future looked uncertain, and it was getting closer every minute. Like it always does.
But
Hold
this
up, they cloned Hitler? How many times? Hold up.
was going to be a future unlike any the world had seen before. A future of moon men and rock stars, big business and free love, computers and the internet.
And a killer robot sent through time to kill Sarah Connor. Although that bit was just in a film.
Modern civilization had arrived, but a clash of worldviews meant that the threat of all-out conflict was never far away. Could new forms of mass communication help us all to get along, or totally not do that?
Should there be two social medias? You know, one for people who are right and one for people who are wrong. I mean, I know a lot of people I put on the wrong one, like wankers.
So join me now in the last part of human existence as I find out how we got where I am now and where we'll be tomorrow, which at the time of filming is Wednesday. Whenever the future arrives, it'll happen here, on a fragile bauble I've come to know as Earth. But my hair looks fucking shit.
So good.
This is awesome. I love it. My hair does look shit.
Wait, that's your
Russia,
hair?
a vast land to the east. It's the first time we've mentioned it in this series, but it's been there all along.
I feel like they're messing with us.
At the start of the 20th
They are,
century,
they're
Russia was a
messing with
vast
us.
empire, just like the Marvel cinema.
What the
They're
fuck is
messing
going
with us.
on, dude?
Something is happening right now.
Gosh dang it. Why are they doing this? Because it's not cool. This is not cool. I already have enough technical freaking problems
For
that
real.
it is.
It's just too much of a coincidence that she walks back into the set for a new scene and it's completely fine.
At the start of the 20th century, Russia was a vast empire, just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is today.
The average Russian was a pheasant, but he dreamt of being a man, preferably a wealthy one. Because while the Russian pheasants lived in poverty, the rich lived in St. Petersburg. The top Russian was called Tsar Nicholas, which is Russian for King Nicholas.
He was allowed to rule the country like a dictator, which I've been advised to say isn't how Russia works today.
A world like this, where the masses toil for pennies. Vladimir Ilyich John Lennon.
Lenin imagined a world with no
John
possessions. I wonder if you can. Nothing to kill or die for, a brotherhood of man. And he chose to bring it about with a violent uprising.
In 1917, he got his chance. Thanks to food shortages, people started rioting for bread, like ducks do. Lenin and his followers hacked into the Winter Palace and uploaded a communist government.
Russia changed its name to USA, or sometimes was the Soviet onion?
Yes.
Well, I think you're labouring under a misapprehension, and you probably mean the Soviet Union.
No, it's onion. I saw it on a bit of paper earlier.
Onion.
Well, it's probably been misspelt, or you can't read very well. But I think that you mean in historical terms the Soviet Union or the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
Oh, I don't want to be rude, but I think you're mansplaining a bit. Can we stick to the topic of the Soviet onion, please?
Okay.
What exactly...
I love me some Ashley Jackson, okay? He is my
said,
favorite.
Maybe you can't read very well. That's been the best part.
He's so awesome.
You might be mansplaining. She said you might be mansplaining a bit. Can we get back on topic?
Mansplaining a bit. Can we stick to the topic of the Soviet onion, please?
Okay.
What exactly was it? If you don't know, it's okay to say, I won't judge you.
Well, if you want to talk about sort of Russian Soviet vegetables, we can. I mean, it was a deeply agrarian country. And so there were lots of onions, lots of potatoes, lots of other things.
Did they have turnips?
I think so. Cheap, easy to grow, hardy, great in a stew.
So how come you know so much about vegetables? Have you got an allotment?
In 1924, Lennon left the band to concentrate on existing only in an afterlife he didn't believe.
She forces him to talk about vegetables. And then, so what the hell? She just turns
Throws it back
everything
at
right
him.
around
Yeah.
on you. It's impossible.
24, Lennon left the band to concentrate on existing only in an afterlife he didn't believe in.
Lenin's place was taken by Joseph Stalin, who presided over a ruthless crackdown that killed, starved or exiled millions of people, although on the plus side he had a friendly moustache.
Communism and capitalism are natural enemies, like men and women and cats and dogs.
But Russia and America had put aside their differences thanks to a mutual interest in winning the Second World War. The end of WWII led to loads of celebrations in black and white as people put years of conflict and misery behind them. But behind these outdated-looking celebrations, trouble was brewing. Now they'd run out of baddies to blow up or shoot, East and West grew suspicious of each other.
It was the beginning of a whole new conflict, World War Cold. The Cold War is quite complicated, isn't it? Should we definitely bother mentioning it in this, or could we just give it a miss?
It defines most of the second half of the 20th century, so I think you should probably include it.
Oh, right, okay.
As the Soviet Union expanded, the animosity between East and West deepened. The division was symbolised by the construction of the Berlin Wall, a sort of divorce made of bricks.
There was a terrible atmosphere of mistrust, like I had with my ex when
We're stopping. Let's find a different source. We'll be right back with you and make sure this isn't on us. This
is not
weird.
real, yeah.
a terrible atmosphere of mistrust, like I had with my ex when I saw he had 28 missed calls from a contact he'd labelled Claudia Tits on his phone. He claimed she was just a rep from Fitness First, and that was her real name. Well, I'm sorry, Sean. I didn't buy it then and I don't buy it now. I hope your mum's well.
Soon there was...
What? It was our freaking copy.
It was. That's so annoying.
Oh, wow.
I thought they were
wow.
messing with us.
I really did. I thought it was like a comedic thing. I was
They're like, not a lot of
okay.
people paid attention to the last 4 episodes, so let's just mess with them, see if they're paying attention.
Like, okay,
But
Peep
no.
Show does its weird thing. This show's now got a new wrinkle to the
I
fold.
do.
Okay, nope, not at all.
Rep from
wasn't.
Fitness First, and that was her real name. Well, I'm sorry, Sean. I didn't buy it then and I don't buy it now. I hope your mum's well.
Soon there was so much paranoia between East and West, they started spying on each other, stockpiled nuclear weapons, and fought a series of proxy wars.
So, Russia and America had proxy wars where they'd use other countries to fight with. Is that a bit like picking a character to do your fighting with in Street Fighter 2?
Well, I think throughout human history, there's been a tendency to try and use other forces, fighters from other lands to help do the fighting.
Right, so exactly like Street Fighter then. If this was Street Fighter 2 and the Americans chose the character Ken, would the Russians pick Zangief because he's from the Soviet Union, or would they go for someone like Dal Sim? Obviously, he'd be a better choice because he can dive kick over Ken's fireballs.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you have to ask, I think, President Putin for the definitive answer on that. I suppose they'd go for the ones that had the most chance of beating Ken.
Meanwhile, Eastern...
He's so fantastic. You don't know where he's going to go. You don't know if he's going to give in a little to what she's saying or if he's going to just shut it down, kind of. But he's still so very, I don't know.
Beating Ken, the way he said it was just like...
Beating Ken.
It was, I don't even know. He put so much in. There's so much I could read from that.
For the definitive answer on that. I suppose they'd go for the ones that had the most chance of beating Ken.
Meanwhile, East and West were also competing to be the first to explore the stars.
The rivalry became known as the space race because that rhymes, although probably not in Russian. We don't know what they called it. And to be honest, we probably should have found out before recording this bit.
The first launches, in contrast, appeared to enjoy a life of carefree luxury and hats.
Was the 1950s real?
Yes, it was certainly real.
Are we sure? Because it looks like it was made up when you see it. It's all men in hats and housewives smiling in kitchens. Were those people real, and was all that really happening?
Well, a lot of that is what you see in advertising.
The 55 Chevrolet is lower, wider, and longer looking.
The most popular drama on 1950s television was a show called Adverts. Adverts told the story of a man or woman who wanted a thing and then bought it and then was happy. The first ever example of a 3-act narrative structure.
Well, that's amazing.
Right.
Adverts was so influential, it made viewers at home want to be the sort of person who bought things too. They'd work hard to get money to buy a car, so they could drive to the shops and buy more things, which they'd have to pay for by going back to work, which made them miserable. So they'd cheer themselves up by going out and buying more things, which they'd have to work to pay for.
Well, that's amazing.
Right.
The only time they weren't working or buying was when they were watching TV.
And it was on these airwaves that a new kind of culture was born. Popular culture, unlike normal culture, which was paintings and Beethoven. This was stuff people actually enjoyed.
For decades, pioneering black artists had steadily built on each other's work to develop an exciting new musical form for white people to pass off as their own.
Why do people say Elvis Presley appropriated white music?
They don't say that. What they do say is that he appropriated black music. He was a white man that sang music of black origin.
Did he have to apologise on social media?
No, because there was no social media then.
Why doesn't Elvis apologise now?
Because Elvis is dead.
So he's appropriated dead people's lifestyles now? What a fucking thief.
Having overcome childhood poverty and a hip impediment, Elvis benefited from mass media, which broadcast him to an audience of millions in sanitised form.
Why was it so dangerous to show Elvis from the waist down? Was he naked underneath, like a pervert on a Zoom call?
He wasn't.
This is a section that I didn't know that we would get, but wow. Look at you. Are you loving it?
I am loving it. I am definitely loving it. And I know the answer to this question because he was gyrating and they weren't ready for it. All the girls were going crazy.
What does gyrating mean?
Just shaking his hips. Moving the bottom half of his body in a way that girls had never seen before on television. And I think it stirred up the world. It gave them feelings they didn't know they had.
Oh, damn you, Forrest Gump, teaching him those moves.
Naked, he moved his hips around a lot in a very sort of sexual manner.
See, she laughs at everything, guys. That was a stupid joke.
There's a lot of anxiety that young women might be a little bit too turned on by Elvis.
People were prudish back then, weren't they? If they saw his penis, they'd probably have a stroke, wouldn't they?
Probably. I don't think that would have made it onto the media.
God. That's not a joke. What's funny about that? If they saw his penis, they'd have a stroke. That's no laughing matter. We're talking about people's lives here.
Elvis was so dangerously explosive, he was requisitioned by the US Army for military use.
And little wonder considering what was going on.
Both Russia and America were building dangerously explosive. He was requisitioned by the US Army for military use.
And little wonder considering what was going on.
Both Russia and America were building up huge stockpiles of nuclear weapons, enough to destroy the entire planet several times over, in case they missed the first time.
It seemed the planet was headed for World War III, and in the early 60s, it teetered up to the edge of the brink of the precipice and gazed straight into an abyss of no return.
Crisis. The word suddenly springs alive, ominously, in the newspapers across America.
In the Cuban Missile Crisis, which was more dangerous, the cubes or the missiles?
You're thinking of the Cuban Missile Crisis, which refers to Cuba, which is a country off the coast of the United States near Florida.
Isn't a cube a terrible shape for a missile? It'd be more like a brick.
In 1959, there had been a communist revolution in Cuba. A man called Fidel Castro rose to power and immediately made friends with Russia.
Then in 1962, America discovered the Soviets were going to use Cuba as a base for nuclear missiles, and those missiles could make it to Florida in just 20 minutes, if the wind was fair, and they could find somewhere to park.
American President and pin-up John F. Kennedy demanded the Russians remove the missiles, otherwise war was inevitable, or worse still, possible.
For 6 days, the world held its breath, meaning it might die from asphyxiation before the bombs even went off.
In the end, Soviet Emperor Nikita Khrushchev backed down like a shameful fucking chicken, and his missiles went home with their tails between their legs. Kennedy was victorious.
John F. Kennedy won the Cuban Missile Crisis. Why did he shoot himself afterwards?
Well, he didn't. He negotiated a settlement to the Cuban Missile Crisis with the Soviet leader, Nikita Khrushchev. And then after that, he ended up being assassinated in Dallas, Texas in 1963, unfortunately, but he didn't fire the bullet.
Right. It's ironic that he was so concerned about Cuban missiles when it was a gun in Texas he should have been worried about. I bet he was kicking himself after he was shot.
Having dodged Armageddon, the world was hungry for change, and a young generation who wanted to give peace a chance rose up. Their heroes weren't politicians, but countercultural musicians whose works defined the era.
The Rolling Stones were huge in the 1960s. Would it be fair to say they were the Beatles of their day?
Well, I thought they were contemporary, so there was always a jostle between the Stones and the Beatles.
Right, but the Beatles were already the Elvis of their day, so there's a spur Beatles. Can we give that to the Rolling Stones, even though they're happening at the same time?
Well, I think people have their preferences between the style of the Beatles and the style of the Stones.
OK, so which of the Beatles of their day was best? Beatles 1 or Beatles 2?
I think Beatles 1 is the preferred,
Beatles
or
1.
Beatles the first, the Beatles.
Next question. Of all the bands of the 1960s, which ones was the Kinks?
What?
Meanwhile, the space race was...
Dude, she actually broke her. She was like, the Beatles.
The Beatles.
The Beatles. The Beatles. Am I saying this right? Am I even saying this right anymore?
Question. Of all the bands of the 1960s, which ones was the Kinks?
Meanwhile, the space race was still being run.
NASA had spent billions of dollars developing a rocket powerful enough to reach the moon, but not so powerful it'd blow up when it got there.
On board were Neil Armstrong, Alan Alda, and another man who asked to remain anonymous. On July 20th, 1969, the whole world was watching on television to see if the moon would blow up, and also because there was nothing else on. The global audience must have been genuinely astounded by the appalling picture quality, which was terrible even for the time.
A lot of people on the internet say the moon landings were faked. How right are they?
They are completely wrong. No historian has ever questioned the reality of Project Apollo, because not one piece of so-called evidence that the conspiracy theorists put forward has ever stood up to peer review scrutiny.
Right, but obviously it is fake, because how could they have landed on the moon if the moon isn't real?
What makes you think the moon isn't real, though, Philomena?
It isn't.
Ooh.
I don't know if you've done your own research, but my mate Paul sent me a video that exposes the whole thing. Can you prove the moon exists? You can't, can you?
We see it in the sky. We have sent spacecraft to the moon. We've brought samples back to Earth.
No, watch the video. It'll open your eyes. You probably believe in nighttime too, don't you?
I experience it, as do billions of people around the world. So yes, I believe in nighttime. I believe that when the Earth rotates, then we have a period of dark that we call nighttime.
Wake up! It's all in the video. They just make us think the moon is real and that night is real, just to keep us obedient. Think about it. Babies haven't been indoctrinated yet, so they know there's no such thing as night. That's why they wake up screaming. Right, let's move on.
Oh my God. She said, watch the video. That's a real person. That is a real person. Not this moon man, but her playing that character right there.
Yeah, right.
That is I've met many of them.
Watch
actually.
this video. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
Wake up, man. Did you watch the video? Nah, you didn't watch all of it. Clearly, you didn't watch all of it.
They're trying to keep us down, man.
Watch the rest of it and call me back.
Haven't been indoctrinated yet, so they know there's no such thing as night. That's why they wake up screaming. Right, let's move on.
The space race was over. America had won, and the prize had turned out to be the worst holiday destination in history, which they couldn't even warn people about because TripAdvisor didn't exist.
But there was a consolation prize, the best holiday snap in history, taken on Apollo 8 and known as Earthrise.
Today it's too boring to hold your attention in a landmark documentary for more than 8 seconds, but back then this photograph made people think.
And not just a small thought like, that looks nice, but a big thought. It made us realise our planet is fragile.
The ecological movement had always been popular with hippies, but people ignored them because of the way they were dressed and because they were too stoned to make their point coherently. But now scientists began to worry about the state of the planet. And so no one would mistake them for hippies. They wore clean white coats and glasses to deliver their warnings.
But we ignored them too, because they looked like nerds.
The problem was progress. All the modern gadgets we got so hooked on ran on electricity, which came from power stations, which burn fossil fuels, which creates a gas called CO2, which flies out of chimneys and stops the sky working properly.
One solution to all this environmental damage was to build nuclear power stations, which don't emit anywhere near as much harmful material, unless they blow up, which never happens.
Until it did in 1986 at Chernobyl. The radiation from Chernobyl turned a huge area into a deadly no-go zone, even worse than Reigate town centre. The fallout wafted across thousands of miles and had one unforeseen side effect. It made the bricks of the Berlin Wall extremely brittle, so brittle it began to collapse. Desperate locals rushed to the wall's assistance and tried to make it better with hammers and fists, but it was no use. As the wall died, so did communism. Capitalism had won, with financial markets embracing globalisation to the toe-tapping sound of Belgian techno anthem, Pump Up the Jam.
Suddenly everybody, apart from poor people, was making so much money that there wasn't room to store it all in coins.
Instead, it had to be stored in numbers on a screen, surrounded by men shouting at it to keep it inside.
To keep track of all this money, the world needed a special kind of mega abacus, and luckily it had one, the computer.
Today, computers are everywhere, but they used to be a cumbersome rarity. In the 50s and 60s, one computer would take up a whole room. But in the 1970s, engineers made a startling discovery. If they got rid of all those pointless flashing lights and spinning tape reels, they could make computers much smaller.
Small enough, in fact, to fit on the tip of your finger. This was the microchip, and it was amazing. Thank you. Give you the little fella back now. The microchip couldn't actually do anything until you shoved it into a big machine like this. But in terms of floor space alone, it was still a big improvement.
Now computers were small enough to share a house with, loads more people wanted one. Silicon Valley was born, a computer heartland that would be defined by the rivalry between two men, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs.
The names might have been boring, but the things they said were more boring.
Gates founded Microsoft and hit the big time with a baffling unofficial sequel to Ms. Pac-Man called Ms. DOS. Meanwhile, Jobs created the Apple Macintosh, the world's first inherently smug computer.
While their rival systems kept computer users apart, something else was trying to bring them all together. WWW, the Web Wide World.
The internet was so modern and interesting, it seemed humankind might never get up from its desk again. Then, in a dramatic and momentous keynote presentation, Steve Jobs revealed he'd discovered how to put the internet inside a portable rectangle, changing history forever.
And we are calling it iPhone.
Its success inspired tons of imitators, like that one your mum uses. And soon smartphones were so ubiquitous, you're probably looking at one now instead of me while I'm saying this.
Smartphones revolutionised the way humans interact by providing a socially acceptable way to ignore everyone around us.
But we're not lonely. Thanks to social media, it's quicker and easier than ever to bond with millions of others over something as simple as a cat photo or the ritual shaming of a stranger.
It's easy to see why the smartphone has become the most popular invention this century.
It's incredibly advanced, yet at the same time so simple a child can make one. In fact, not just one, but about 50 of these an hour, if it wants to avoid another night in the punishment block.
Sadly, Steve Jobs died before he could witness Apple's success, apart from the first few $100 billion. On his deathbed, he made Apple engineers promise to change the iPhone's headphone jack every 3 years, then uploaded himself to the cloud. Meanwhile, Gates wasted his fortune eradicating malaria in the third world.
But despite Apple and Microsoft's total failure, computers continue to go from strength to strength. Some believe we're heading for an event known as the singularity, where artificial intelligence becomes too clever for our own good.
While others believe this has already happened, and that all of human civilization exists only inside a computer simulation.
How do we know we're not in a simulation?
We don't know. There are lots of smart people who think it is possible that we live in a simulation.
If this is a simulation, why is the computer making me ask you this?
Well, from my perspective, you are asking a question, so I could imagine that you are being controlled by a computer, but you may well feel that you have free will and you're asking those questions yourself.
Why do I have to actually come and film this? Couldn't a computer just show it on the telly in the simulation? Or is that where I am? You know, do I exist at all? Why is this happening? Why isn't it just me eating a chocolate eclair in a loop, like in a GIF? I'd swap for that. Actually, are people in looping GIFs caught in a simulation? Is that what's happened to them? Where do wasps fit into the simulation?
I'm not quite sure how...
Sorry, it's a lot to unpick, isn't there?
Yeah, that was that broke my brain even. What the hell? She started getting lost down the rabbit hole of simulation talk here. No sense can be made of that question.
In this series, we've taken you from our primitive beginnings through spiritual awakenings, cultural explosions, and major scientific breakthroughs. Now, in the present moment, humankind sits impaled on a crossroads, facing an uncertain future.
Will we rise to the challenge of climate change, or the opposite of that?
Will computers learn to delete us? And if they do, how will we get ourselves out of the recycle bin? Can humankind learn to exist at peace with itself? Or are all of us, right now, living through the final hours, minutes and seconds of civilization?
Or not? I don't know. And nor do you. But whatever happens, it'll happen right here on Earth.
Okay, that was great. We've got that, Philomena.
Yeah?
Yeah, all done. Thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah?
Nice one.
Is that what you're done?
Yeah, great work.
Oh, great. So are you sure you can actually make it look like I've been to these places?
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about that.
Oh, really?
Do all the computers afterwards.
Oh, okay.
It's
All
amazing
right.
these days.
Brilliant. See you then. Bye.
Cut there, guys. Thank you. Well done. That was pretty good, I think.
Immersion broken. How dare
Wait,
you?
should I? No, I'm not gonna.
How dare you? Is your hair longer? Is this your real hair?
I'm not
How
answering that question.
You, Netflix or whoever you are.
Whoever you are.
What the heck, man? Broke my whole brain at the end there.
Oh my gosh. This character is so funny. I love the dryness. I love the out of nowhere comments that she makes that I don't catch on till like right after she says it and it's gone on to the next scene. And I'm like, oh my God. So it's like start laughing.
There's a lot of deep cuts there. There's a lot of deep cuts. Oh man, I didn't get half of what was probably laid out for me, but I still enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, sorry, I have some indigestion here.
It's okay, Paul. I know that happens to you.
I was never Paul.
My gosh.
I tricked you the whole time. All right, your turn. Oh gosh,
Can't
don't
do it. I don't even know what's underneath here right now, and I would be mortified if it was on film forever for the whole world to see.
I knew by me saying, okay, your turn, it was going to do that. Oh, man. What a great show. What a great show. It's so informative, but it's also so damn funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And I'm looking forward to our Shakespeare journey and all that. We still have more Cunk to go. So.
Yep, at least that. So, yeah, Cunk on Shakespeare. We'll see you next week for that. Bye, friends.
Bye, friends.
Peace.
I'm not scared of your love, so show